So John also asks, he's considering creating specialized and or regional sales roles. So it sounds like John's got national coverage at least, and he's looking to cut and carve up the sales function a little bit differently. He says, what is the best way to implement such a change when the result is that accounts will be taken from the customer's current salesperson and entrusted to another? What impacts should we consider for the salesperson and the customer? So it sounds like we're looking at some kind of a territory reshuffle, or maybe a reshuffle based on verticals or industries, but that's going to mean that salespeople that he's had historically, who's had wider reach, now are going to have a more defined territory and or specialism. What is the impact that they should be thinking about on the team and the customer?
This may be a controversial answer. It could even be controversial between you and I,
Okay.
but certainly between John and myself. Look, I'm speaking from experience here. I've done this on multiple occasions, and that is, I would consider team selling for a short period of time. I'm going to call a short period of time 3 months, where the previous or current salesperson and the new salesperson are on the calls jointly. And they do that for, let's just say, 3 month period of time. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give a trust. I'm trying to create trust in the lateral such that over that 3 month period of time, the customer gets more acquainted and more comfortable with the new salesperson. And as the previous one fades into the sunset, they don't even feel like it even happened. It doesn't need to be a long period of time, but it needs to be long enough to build some comfort and trust. That takes care of both issues, the salesperson issue and the customer issue. But here's the part that potentially can be painful. So let me just explain it. I don't believe that there are expenses in business, only investments. And because of that mentality during that 3 month transitionary period, I have no hesitancy in paying both sales guys. And that might hurt my margin in the short run, but help the growth of my company in the long run. And I'm willing to make that investment of, in effect, paying twice. And I have done this successfully on more than a single occasion. And the customers and my salespeople all were thumbs up, and my company ended up growing significantly.
Actually, Jack, I think we're pretty much aligned on that. So I'm just going to add a little bit of color commentary on things that we've done for clients of ours that have had a similar need because of expanding their business. So what often happens if you're a growing business is your sales team grows organically. Your salespeople go out and they acquire clients, and especially in the US, we acquire clients all over the US, because what happens is I have a client in Kentucky who refers me to a client in Michigan, and all of a sudden I have a salesperson who is servicing clients in disparate places all over the country. As I grow my team and I start realizing that now territory coverage is actually really important, there comes a point in the development of my business where now I have to quote unquote clean things up a little bit, and I've got to create either state by state sales teams or by region. And that then brings us to this particular challenge that John has. Now, when I've seen this go wrong, it's often because not only has the company not done what you've just explained, because they don't want to pay the double commissions, they don't want to invest the time, it feels like duplication of effort. But in addition to that, they've not thought about what that handover process looks like. Give you a couple of examples. For instance, the one thing that I don't see companies doing is, in addition to the joint field sales calls or virtual calls that they need to be doing, transfer of trust often happens outside of business, like we've just been talking about. I don't see the company allowing those salespeople to spend social time together, go for a lunch, play a round of golf, whatever it might be that customer enjoys doing, so that we can get away from this clinical virtual call or a 1 hour meeting in person, and you can get to know the human being. The other thing that I don't see companies doing enough is what you and I talk about when we talk about personality styles or communication preferences. We don't capture in the CRM all of the history that original salesperson has with that prospect of that company, where they've identified the stakeholders and they've inserted their knowledge about whether this person is a driver, an expressive, and amiable, and how to deal with them. Imagine you being assigned a brand new customer. You give one of your customers to me, and you don't tell me that the CEO is a driver, the CFO is an analytical, and the HR manager is an amiable. And I storm my way into that company thinking, I'm great, I can do this, and I'm basically treating them all the same. Well, you and I both know that statistically, 2 out of the 3 are going to be pissed off because I haven't adapted my communication style to their personality. So yes, absolutely.
That's so rock solid. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the frustrating thing for me is I view so much of this as this isn't hard. It's not, we're not talking about difficult math equations. It's easy. It's just making the commitment to doing it.
Absolutely.